This is the first topic for homework 2, simplifying expressions. So we're going to look at a couple of ways that we can simplify expressions. Recall, expressions do not have equal signs. So we're going to be taking the expression and writing an equivalent expression with it. The first concept that we want to talk about is called like terms. Terms are separated by plus and minus signs. So a term would be something like 2x or 5y or perhaps 3xy. The things in it are multiplied. A constant number like 7 would also be a term. Like terms have the exact same variables with the exact same exponents. They do not have to be in the same order. Okay, so for example, 3x and negative 5x are like terms. 3x squared y and 4xy squared are not like terms. They're not like terms because the x in the first one has a power of 2. Here, there's not a power written. You could say there's an invisible power of 1 there. The y has a 2, but the y in this one does not have a 2. 3x squared y and 4yx squared are like terms because both of them have an x to the second power and a y. Okay, let's look at some examples of combining the like terms. First example will be 2x plus 3x. These are like terms, so we combine them by looking at their coefficients. The coefficient is the number next to the variables. If there is no variable, the entire thing is called a constant term. These are variable terms because there are variables in them. So I'm going to say this term, 2x, is like this term, 3x. They're really both positive, so the sign is always in front of the number. So this plus sign here goes with this second term. So I'm going to put the 2 and the 3 together, and my solution is going to be 5x. So my answer to combining the like terms or simplifying is 5x. So the instructions would be simplify. So those would be the instructions for all of these. Simplify. Okay, let's look at another one. 3a minus 2b plus 5a plus 4b. Let's simplify this by combining the like terms. Okay, we have this term 3a, and we have this term plus 5a that are like terms. So we can put those together. 3a plus 5a is 8a. And we also have this term, negative 2b, and this term plus 4b. They're both like terms because they both have b's. So we can put those together. Negative 2 plus 4 is a positive 2b. So our simplification in this case is 8a plus 2b. Okay, let's look at Another example. How about negative 6w plus 4 plus 3w minus 8. This one we actually have some constants as well as some variable terms. The negative 6w and the positive 3w are like terms, so we can put those together and we get what? Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3w. We also have constant terms, no variables in them, constant terms that are alike, positive 4 and negative 8. Plus 4 minus 8 is negative 4. So our simplification in this case is negative 3w minus 4. Okay. Let's try one more, and then we'll look at the other thing we'll do for simplification. Let's look at 2x squared plus 3x minus 5x plus 4x squared. Remember, to be like terms, they have to have the same variable with the same exponent. So 2x squared is not like 3x because x in the second term does not have a 2, but it is like this one down at the end. So I have 2x squared plus 4x squared. When I put those together, that gives me 2 plus 4, 6x squared. I also have here a plus 3x and a minus 5x. Those are like terms. When I put those together, I put together 3 and negative 5, so I get negative 2x. There's no further simplification possible because 6x squared and negative 2x are not considered like terms. The other thing we do in order to simplify expressions is called distribution. Distribution is the noun, it's the title of what we do, the verb is distribute. So we're going to distribute. We're going to distribute the constant on the parenthesis. Okay, so what we're going to do, for example, is we're going to look at the first number, and it's going to get multiplied by these others. Okay, so I have a parenthesis, and it's implied that this is multiplied, so what I have to do is distribute. Just think about distributing candy on Halloween or something. What am I going to do? I'm going to give some to each. So I'm going to distribute this 2 to each of these two terms. There are two terms here, 2x and plus 3. So 3 times 2 would be 6, so the first term is 6x. 3 times 3 is 9. So my simplification done by distribution in this example is 6x plus 9. Right, let's look at this next one. Negative 2 times 3m minus 4. So I need to distribute this negative 2 on both of these. And remember that the sign is part of the term. So this is a negative 2 getting distributed on a 3m and on a negative 4. So I'm multiplying negative 2 times 3 to get negative 6m. Multiplying negative 2 times negative 4 to get a positive 8. So my solution here is negative 6m plus 8. Alright, so now I have another example. We've got to be careful that we only distribute on the ones that are inside parentheses. So remember our please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that multiplication comes before addition and subtraction, and distribution is a special form of multiplication. So I cannot do the 8 minus 3 first. I have to distribute the negative 3 first. The negative 3 is the term. So this 8 is just going to sit in the front. There's also an invisible 1 in front of this x. I don't see a coefficient there, so I can think of it as a 1. Okay, so negative 3 times 1x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Now I have two like terms. They're both constants, the 8 and the negative 15, so I can put those together to get negative 7 minus 3x. Now here it would not have mattered which came first in my answer, the negative 7 or the negative 3x. So either answer is correct. Okay, so let's try this one. 4 times 2x minus 1 minus 3x. You may choose to pause and try it on your own, and then look back and check and see if you've done it correctly. Okay, so the 4 is going to get distributed on everything in the parenthesis. Notice the negative 3x is not in the parenthesis, so it is not included in the distribution. 4 times 2 is 8x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Copying the negative 3x, now I can put these together. The like terms are the 8x and the minus 3x, giving me 5x minus 4. Again, the order doesn't matter. If you wanted to put it in the other order, you could. Negative 4 plus 5x. Negative 4 is the constant, and so it would have to be put first. Okay. I have two more for us to try, so let's try them. 6 minus 4 times 3y plus 5 parentheses plus 8. Okay, what's going to get distributed here is going to be the negative 4. So when I distribute, I'm going to get negative 4 times 3, which is negative 12y, and negative 4 times 5, which is negative 20. The 8 is not affected. Look, I have three terms that are alike. The 6, the negative 20, and the 8, so I can put those together. 6 minus 20 is negative 14, and negative 14 plus 8 is negative 6. So I have negative 6 minus 12y. Okay, again, I could have put the 12y first if I'd wanted to. Okay, one more for you to look at. 3 times 2a minus 5 in parentheses minus 2a minus 3b in parentheses plus b. Sometimes I can have more than two terms in a parenthesis, but for our purposes we'll just stick to 2. Okay, so I'm going to distribute this 3 on this parenthesis. What am I going to do with this negative? It's really like a negative 1 here, even though it's not written the 1. So I'm going to distribute the negative, or if you want to write in the 1, the negative 1. So this first one's going to be 3 times 2 is 6a. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Negative 1 times 2 is It's negative 2a. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3b. And this b is just sitting here by itself. It wasn't in a parenthesis. If you would like, you can write in its coefficient. It's invisible 1. Do I have any like terms here? Yeah, 6a and negative 2a, which is 4a. The negative 15 is by itself. It doesn't have a like term. And the plus 3b and the plus 1b come together to give me plus 4b. Of course, there's several different orders you can write this in, but that is the answer, 4a minus 15 plus 4b. And those are the two ways we simplify expressions, by combining like terms and by distributing.